Hi, it's Terri Gaines. I'm going to give you some assembly tips on creating this fun fold congratulations cake card. Each layer of the cake opens up for a fun fold card, and then the top layer reveals your inside sentiment. So to make this card, I use the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set, and I also use the coordinating framelits for the flowers on the top. It's a perfect stamp set for this card. The paper I used is from the Petal Promenade Designer Series paper packet. They're beautiful prints. Many of these will be perfect for this card, and they're double-sided. And that's what you need for the card. I use the very same Designer Series paper sheet for all 3 layers, but you can mix and match those and use different papers for each of those layers. For the cardstock, I use Petal Pink, and the first base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Layered to that, I have Very Vanilla, that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I did run this through the Big Shot using the subtle folder just to give it a little bit of background, textured background. So I have all the dimensions over on the side. They're also on my blog post. The first layer of the cardstock is 1 3/4 by 7 3/4, and it's folded in half. And I've already layered that to the Petal Pink cardstock. I found I liked layering these layers to it, but you could actually just have your Designer Series paper folded without your layered cardstock in the back. So the first layer is going right to the bottom, centering at equal spacing on the 2 sides in the bottom with a fold on the left. The next layer is the 3 by 6, scored at 3, and this fold is on the right side. I've got that layer to the cardstock already. So I'm using the Snail Adhesive to adhere this. This next layer gets centered, equal spacing on both sides, and then I bring it right down to the bottom of the Designer Series paper. So just eyeball this to get this centered. And there we go. Give that a little better alignment there. And as I mentioned, that folds on the right. So this opens up. The next fold, the paper is 5 by 3 1/2. Scored at 2 1/2, and I've got that layered again on the colored cardstock. So we'll apply this one. So this one, I'm looking for equal spacing here to be equal spacing here, so my layers are about the same. Then I'm looking for equal spacing on both sides. So I'm just gonna eyeball this, and you don't, it does not have to be exact for your heights, but that's what I'm looking at for placing that. So while I have this opened, I'm going to adhere my inside sentiments. So these are also on the blog post and right here for the dimensions for the Very Vanilla and the layered cardstock. So we'll just put the inside sentiment there and this one off to the side right here. And then we have our sentiments. For the flowers on the top, I mentioned I use the coordinating die, and this has 4 flower petals. What I'm going to do is actually trim one of them off. So for one of these, I just want 3 flowers. So I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to use the mini glue dots to attach that. So mini glue dots are perfect. You just want to put a couple, putting them right in the center of the flower. I'm going to be covering that up with pearls, so it's okay that they're exposed right now. And then I have a second one that I've already put some mini glue dots on it. So we need 2 of those, and I just cut that one flower off so it kind of positions a little bit better there. To cover up those flower centers, I'm using the basic pearls, and I use my paper snips, like a little tool, like a little pliers to pick these up. Do be careful that you grab the adhesive along with the pearl. You don't want to go too fast doing this, that you grab just the pearl. It's great that the adhesive is already attached, and you get 3 different sizes. And then these bottom or center 2 flowers, I'm going to put a little bit larger petal or larger center. So there we have the top of our cake decorated. For the center panel, I have a piece of ribbon. I've tied that into a knot or into a bow. Sorry, my videos are unedited, so I do have some bloopers on here. So here's our final card. Isn't that pretty? So as I mentioned, you can change up the paper. Yesterday's blog post, I had a birthday card using the candle embellishments and 2 different designer series paper patterns. So you can play around with this and have lots of fun. If you found my video via YouTube, look in the comment section for a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supply list, the measurements, and instructions for this project. There's a PDF tutorial you can download and a direct link to my Stampin' Up! Store to purchase the supplies. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed creating this project with me.